Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of our garden series. We started our garden on basically a plot of lawn, and the prep work started last fall, and today we're going to kind of dive into all the different things we've done over the last 6 months, and we're going to show you some of the things we're doing today, like bringing in compost and tilling, and talking about different ways we've tried to weed suppress over the last 6 months. In the weeks to come, we're going to be showing you guys how we plan to set up our raised rows, as well as setting up fencing and then planting our first ever vegetable garden. So we hope you enjoy this series, and let's dive into the video. Hi, I'm Brittany.
I'm Chris.
And we are Indy Homestead. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are having compost delivered.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. So we felt like we owed you guys an explanation for why you haven't heard about our garden. I mentioned it a few times in past videos, and here we are. Things didn't go exactly as planned. It took me a while to figure out like what approach I wanted to take, and then when I finally did, it took us a while to put the leaves on top. So back in December, you used your new leaf vac to gather up leaves and spread it on top of this plot. That really helped to kill a lot of what was on the lawn at that point. Then we put tarps on top, but we ended up taking some of those leaves and putting them elsewhere. So we've got some weeds growing. So we decided to kind of pull the trigger and have compost delivered today to help smother out the rest.
With your plan moving forward with the compost layer and then wood chips on top of the areas that we're not planting, I think it should smother over the next month or so.
As far as like timing goes, right now it's May 6th, I think, which is way later than I had planned on doing all of this, unfortunately. But having little kids and
Been super busy.
We've been super busy and things came up, so our focus kind of went to other things for a while. That's okay. We're gonna take these tarps off and have compost delivered, put tarps back on top, and then let it sit for a little bit and then figure out what the heck we're doing. So as mentioned, the first thing we needed to do was remove all of our tarps. These tarps have been on this plot since mid-December. We checked it randomly, and we actually tried to hand turn some of this back in March and found it to be just a little bit too difficult. So we just let it sit a little bit longer, and this is what it turned out to look like. Okay, so we just want to show you guys the difference between the tarps and different types of methods for weed suppression. So this section right here, and you can kind of see like a difference right here, like it's compacted right here and it's a little bit looser. This was hand turned, and we did this on a really it was a muddy day. It had rained recently a lot, and we didn't get very far with it because it was a ton of work and manpower. But we did do this section, and it clearly works super well. But right here next to it, it was not hand turned, but there was a black tarp on top, and you can see that it was super effective. So yeah, the black tarp in combination with hand turning was the best, but the black tarp alone did a really great job. There's still some like random weeds, but honestly it did a really good job, and you can see some of the old leaves sitting on top of this area. And then over here where all the weeds are growing is where the blue tarp was, and any section that had blue tarp has weeds like this. They come out pretty easy. They're not deep rooted or anything. Safe to say that darker tarp, thicker tarp, higher quality tarp does a much better job. This area was also a black tarp, but it was like a cheaper, thinner black tarp that was folded over on itself, and it did a great job as well. So, you know, you live and you learn. I feel like that was a great learning experience, and we'll see how the compost goes. And we did end up making the last second decision to till this garden. This was not my plan all along at all. It just so happened that Chris's dad's tiller was at our property because we'd used it in a project just a month ago or so. So we decided to go ahead and use it. My goal all along has been to have a no-till garden, but with the weeds still here, I wanted to go ahead and do this the first year and hopefully not do it again. So this is what it looks like, and now we're gonna wait for the compost to arrive and then till it in one more time. We ended up bringing in 7 yards of compost. This wasn't a magic number or anything, it just happened to be that this is the most that a truckload could bring in from this company. So it ended up actually being a really great amount for this approximately 30 by 30 foot space. It was, however, a lot of work to spread out, but thankfully Chris and I make a great team. Once the compost was all spread out, we think it added about 2 inches to the entire top layer, give or take. Again, this was obviously hand spread, so it wasn't perfect necessarily, but we think it ended up being about 2 inches. This particular compost consists of horse and cow manure, and it's mixed with straw and sawdust and then aged over the course of 18 months. So this is what the final product looked like after we spread it ourselves, and now it's time to go ahead and till it back in. Chris took the tiller horizontally, vertically, and diagonally across this space just to make sure that everything is mixed up well. So this ended up being the final product. It looks really great, and now we're just gonna kind of let it sit and rest for a bit, cover it back up with tarps, and proceed here in a couple weeks. Okay, busy day, huh?
I am exhausted.
Me too, I'm gonna be so sore. I don't know if I've ever done that much shoveling.
The garden is ready. You could plant tomorrow if you wanted to.
I know, but we're gonna let it rest for a couple of weeks, and then in this whole garden series we're trying to do, the next step is creating the raised rows. So we're gonna be doing that here soon, and then
using the wood chipper to mulch the rows in between the not flower beds, the
vegetable beds.
Yeah,
the beds.
The beds.
Between the beds. And then also we'll be sharing obviously what we're planting and hopefully doing garden updates, and we need to put a little fence around. There's still a lot of work to be done. We're starting from scratch. We literally started from lawn and here we are. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye guys.
Bye. Welcome back to Indy Homestead. My name is Brittany.
I'm Chris.
And we're Indy Homestead.
Are we?
Yeah, okay. I don't know if I've ever done that much shoveling.
Shoveling and
pitchforking.
Raking and
whatever. Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Caught you off guard.
Oh, you did. Ooh.